something uniquely human about it, right? Getting a tomato from a vine, a fistful of rosemary. But for something we've done for 20,000 years, it's still kind of weirdly difficult to grow your own food, right? It's high friction, it's very manual. You have to Google for hours, and then you go into a brick and mortar, which is still something you have to do. And you talk to a stranger, you hope you ask the right questions, the choices are overwhelming, you go home, have zero support, and a month later, your plants die. But it's not just an inconvenience, right? This is actually something that has an impact. We know that growing your own food is good for your body, it's good for your mind, and it's good for the environment. So how do we create the next generation of lifelong home food growers? Well, our answer is Gardenio. Gardenio is a new kind of garden club. We offer memberships that send you everything you need to start growing your own food in small outdoor spaces with an app to help you as you grow. Now first, we send you everything you need, the right container, the right kind of soil for what you're growing, the right live plant, not seeds, but live plants. And we send you a few extras to help you as you're growing. Then, we send you plant food in the amount you need it, when you need it. Oh, and if your plant dies for any reason, we will send you a new one. It's called Infinite Lives. You like that one? Lastly, our mobile app connects you to local gardening advice and tips. Things like, hey, it's going to freeze next week, bring your plants inside. And connects you to other local gardeners in your area for support and celebration. Now, so it's just a matter of time, it's not an if, but a when, of when this market's going to be disrupted, right? It's a $48 billion market for lawn and garden. That grew 31% from 2016. 3.6 billion of those dollars are spent in DIY edible alone. That's the largest subcategory. But the fun fact is that between the ages of 18 and 34, of new gardeners, 80% of those are between the ages of 18 and 34. Now that's the exciting thing, right? That's the missed opportunity. That's our target. And we know that market because we are that market. Big box folks like Home Depot and Lowe's just aren't designed for the small space, mobile, modern garden. They couldn't do it if they tried. So we focus on that market and give them the knowledge and community they need to be successful for an end-to-end, and then again, experience. Now, in the last year, we've been able to do a lot with a little. With a team of 2 and under 10K of self-funding, we've run 2 beta programs to validate a lot of our initial hypotheses. Figuring out things like how do you ship plants, package engineering, things like iterating on our product to make sure we're building things customers love, and things like figuring out our supply chain. Our waitlist has grown to over 700 folks. 100 of that is in the last 4 days since we relaunched our sign-up page. And we launched our iOS and Android app earlier this year. 94% of the folks we talked to were interested in a mobile app, and we gave them their first version just a few months ago. And what we've learned from this is that people dig what we're doing, right? And so we're raising a pre-seed round to be able to fuel our customer acquisition strategy for a spring 2020 membership launch. Now, we think we're going to win based on a unique brand identity, on the technology that we're building, and on a solid team. We're advised by folks from Blue Apron and Plated. These people are experts in shipping perishable goods. We're advised by folks from Khan Academy, experts in designing for learning. And we're advised by Texas Master Gardeners, experts in horticulture. Now, our ambition is not small. We are trying to create the next generation of lifelong growers and meet the modern gardener where they are, completely shifting the industry. We're creating the next folks who can grow their own food at home, and with Gardenio, you don't have to grow it alone. Thank you.
Give it up, everyone. All right. Start with Janica. Thoughts?
So I'm still a little bit confused. What do I get this initial box and then what? You help me if a plant dies, but how do you continue the relationship?
Yeah, so we do it on a membership model. So right now we have 3 different tiers. The top one is a kind of gold membership. That gives you all the things we talked about. So that's a grow box every season with all the stuff that you need. You don't have to go out and get it yourself or figure it out. We give you plant food when you need it. Sometimes that'll be at an interval of 2 or 4 weeks, depending on what you're growing. We figure that out for you. And then there's the Infinite Lives. In addition, you get access to premium features in the app. The second tier are premium features in the app only. That's if you have your own stuff and you just want to grow with us and be a part of that community. And the third tier is just a free kind of lead gen tier of that app, which is basic stuff. Doesn't do any of the proactive things, but is a tool for you to organize your gardening information.
Marissa?
I have a follow-up. So is a monthly membership?
The top one, the gold membership, is seasonal, but we charge it monthly. That's what we got feedback from some early customers. Then the second tier for the app is monthly.
Monthly. So how long do you have to have a customer before you recoup your costs? And when do you break even on a single customer acquisition?
Yeah, so our cost of goods sold right now is around 26 bucks for the actual materials, 12 bucks for shipping, gives us about a 45% margin. So after the second month, we actually have recouped our costs. It's the third month that we are able to actually generate a little more profit.
So what if you want to just order one time? A few different
Yeah, we're going to have that option as well. We're focusing on memberships because if we can.
You make money if you just order it one time, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually how we started. So the box I'm talking about was originally sold just on its own at around $60 for all the same stuff. And that's how our original sales started, and we were making money that way.
And how do those prices compare to like a local nursery or Home Depot?
Yeah, so if you were to do this all on your own for 3 plants, you'd end up spending around the same amount of money actually for the large bag of soil, for the containers. People don't take into account the containers. A lot of what we hear is like, oh, I can get a $2 plant at Trader Joe's, and that's fine, and you can do that. But we give you all the right stuff. We curate that because growing lavender is wildly different than growing a tomato and wildly different than growing cilantro. So by us doing that work for you and actually shipping it to you, which is the wild thing, you just still can't get plants shipped to you like that. Then that's the value we add, in addition to the community and the recurring proactive reminders. So for instance, 67% of the folks we talked to in a recent survey said the number one thing they want to see is just when do I water my plants? Like they would pay money for that. We had people saying they would pay $10, $5 for that. The audience reaction to it. And that's because we want to do a lot more than that in organizing the world's information, right? There's this big tech play to what we're doing. But even just that is of extreme value to our customers.
Jody, last question.
If I bought the gold membership, how many plants would I get in the 4 different seasons?
Yeah, right now we have 3 plants for each season. But what you can do is if your plant is still growing, you can go in just like any Blue Apron kind of mechanism. You can go in and say, hey, I already got this container. Just send me, a new set of soil and plant for this. So that's the way that we avoid garden clutter, which was a huge problem when we first started. That it's like, hey, I can't have 12 plants on my small little windowsill though here. So that's how we manage that so far.
Amazing. Give it up to Roman.